righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Alleluia, Alleluia. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Herod the Tetrarch heard of all that Jesus was doing, and he was perplexed, for some were saying, John has been raised from the dead. Others, Elijah has appeared, and still others, one of the prophets of old has risen. But Herod said, John I beheaded. Who is this man about whom I hear all these reports? He was very curious to see him. Sisters and brothers, the Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In every age, O Lord, you have been our refuge. And that has always been the same thing even before the COVID-19 pandemic. In every age, O Lord, you have been our refuge. And this should be a consolation and comfort for all of us to hear and reflect on. COVID or no COVID, in every age, my dear friends, the Lord Jesus has always been our refuge. And today's response is taken from the book of Psalms, chapter 90, verses 3 to 6, verses 12 to 14, and verse 17. In every age, O Lord, you have been our refuge, and will always be forever and ever in our day-to-day lives. My dear friends, the very short gospel reading today, taken from the Gospel of Luke chapter 9, verses 7 to 9, leads us to the following realizations. The evangelist Luke tells us today that when Herod the Tetrarch, the same Herod who commanded that John the Baptist be beheaded, when Herod the Tetrarch heard about the many things Jesus was doing according to the reports he received, the Gospel of today says, Herod the Tetrarch was confused, was perplexed. And that is why Herod, with all the confusion he had in his mind, asked, who is this man about whom I heard all these reports? And consequently, Herod was curious to see Jesus. But then one very important realization is this. Though Herod may have heard about many things about Jesus, but Herod fails to recognize Jesus for what he really is, that is, the man from God. My dear friends, today's reflection leads us to think about and reflect on. And today, the Gospel tells us that what is of importance, or what is important, that we will be able to internalize our faith. And what do I mean that what is important now is to be able to internalize our faith? That means that we turn everything, what we see, what we hear, and what we do, especially, into faith experiences. And this is what I mean, internalizing our faith. That we turn, I repeat, everything, all that we see and hear and do, into faith experiences. In this way, my dear friends, we come to be able to recognize God, Jesus, when He appears in our midst. Again, going back to Herod the Tetrarch, he may have had heard many things about Jesus as reported to him. But Herod the Tetrarch failed to recognize Jesus for what he really is, that he was a man from God. Please stand.